Welcome back, everybody. Another segment with the Conspiracy Keepers. And there's one thing I keep forgetting to have you guys do. The people are listening to us, but how are they going to find us on the website?
Use the force.
Yeah.
www.conspiracykeepers.com.
And then also, Joe, you have one as well?
I do have one, which is theconspiracyzone.net, and I've got all those linked together. So, well, we get so many hits on those. So, yeah, those are the places to go. If you want to read articles, you can go to the Conspiracy Zone. If you want to see our podcasts and any of them that you might have missed, you want to go to Conspiracy Keepers. So they're both linked together.
Perfect. And also, we just want to remind everybody that's talking today between Joe and Scooter, if you find it crazy, do what I've been doing. Unfortunately, it's been scaring the living out of me. But Google it. Even though we're not supposed to believe everything we type up and read on the internet. But I wanted to go back. You were talking a little bit earlier, Joe.
Okay.
And Scooter, about when Obama came into power, they stopped in for the Bilderbergs meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that will also turn into a little bit more of signs and symbols. But if you give the listeners a brief little overview of the Bilderbergs.
Well, it's one of those, it's a secret society, and they're all related to each other, whether you're talking about Skull and Bones, Bilderbergers, Scroll and Key, they're all secret societies that are linked together. And these are where the Illuminists, which means enlightened ones, they meet together and discuss what they want the outcome of mankind to be. That's where they get together and basically play God. So that's what these people are into. Now, the thing about these people that's very hard for people to understand is, like, why are they doing all this stuff? What do they have to gain by it? They've got all the world's money. They control everything. It's like, why are they into this? Because all these people are into the occult and occult practices. And the occult is really into signs and symbols and warning you what they're going to do beforehand. So they have rules that they want to follow. So, yeah, you're right. These people do have all the money in the world. They don't need any money. They own the money. They own the printing presses. They own the Federal Reserve. But what they really get off on is control. That's what they want. The more control they have, the more the happier they are, and the more they feel they are fulfilled, because that is the Luciferian agenda, is control of the world's planet. It all goes back to ancient Babylon, when they wanted the world, when the world was as one, and they were in control of everything. And God separated the nations and made them form through these boundaries. He stopped the Tower of Babel from being built and the control of the world system. And since then, that's what they've all been trying to do, is get back to that one world government and control by a few of the people that control the masses. And that's where we are today.
So within these societies, Scooter and Joe, does that mean if you're just happy-go-lucky, start making a little bit of money, becoming a little more powerful, do they invite you in and then put you through, hazing initiations?
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. And that's what they do to these a lot of these people that are into that. They're actors. If you're an A-list actor, you're part of them. If you're kind of like down, a little bit lower on the totem pole, yeah, you may know what's going on, but you may not exactly know what's going on. But to be at the top, that's why you have 33rd degree Masons. That's as high as you can go, 32nd, 33rd degree Masons. The people at the top are the only ones that have the overall picture. The ones below have a little bit varying knowledge to a degree, but they don't know everything until they get to the top of the pyramid. And you're exactly right. That's where this whole concept of hazing comes from. It comes from them, and it filters down to the fraternities and the sororities and colleges and stuff. Basically, their humiliation rituals is what they do. So they completely break you down, break your spirit, and then they build you back up in their image is what it's all about as far as their control methods go.
Okay.
It's very simple. You're groomed.
Yep.
You're recruited. You're compromised. You're then owned.
So compromised as far as like secret family secrets, whatever.
That's what's great. It doesn't matter. You're a compulsive gambler. You are a sexaholic. You're an alcoholic. You're a drug addict. Well, we just won the trifecta with Hunter Biden. You're compromised. You're gay. You're secretly gay, but you're married because you got a beard and all of that. Governor Polis, excuse me. Sorry, that's the semi-boneless meatloaf. You've been compromised. You're living a lie, but certain people know it, and one hand washes the other, and because you're with us, it's okay. But then you play on the reservation, much like we're seeing talking in between breaks, talking about the Democrat with his little Young or Ling or Yum or whatever her name is. Not trying to be negative towards the Asian American community. It was sexual compromise. Meanwhile, as a member of the Democrats yelling and screaming all the evil things Trump was doing, he was corrupted, he was a spy, he was compromised, the PP tape and all of that. Wow, turns out maybe the one making the allegations was the one who in fact had been compromised. But instead of the Democratic Party coming down, they just give one. They isolate the scandal. But I'm sure there are spies throughout Washington, D.C. There are spies in Denver, Colorado. People don't understand all the Chinese American or the Chinese nationals who are here getting an education. Part of your doctrine of being a member of the Party of China, you're required to spy. If at any point the Chinese government calls upon you and asks for information, you have to give it. And if you don't, the country arrests, tortures, and kills your family.
Yeah, and a lot of these humiliation rituals, what we talked about earlier, they're videotaped because a lot of the control comes about by blackmail. They will actually videotape these rituals and they'll hold them over your head forever. So you don't dare come out and talk against these people because they'll release them. That's what the Playboy agenda was in the beginning, back in the 60s. Hugh Hefner was just not a guy that had a lot of money to decide to do this. He's a CIA operative. And the whole concept of the Playboy Mansion was to get powerful men in there in compromising positions, videotaped without their knowledge with these women, and now they have control over them for the rest of their lives. So yeah, that's how it works.
No different in a secret society than, Joe, would it exactly have been for one of the New York Five families, God rest the soul of Don Carlo Gambino. But the Gambinos ran the majority of the gay bars in New York when being gay was a no-no in post-prohibition 40s, 50s, and 60s. And they ran the brothels and they ran porn. And because of that, and Gambino at the end of the day didn't care about whether you were, what sex you were. He cared about getting dirt on you. And so when a politician thought that bar was safe, it was not. It was all, back then, it was microphoned. And oftentimes they'd take still pictures. But now when you think, if you think you're going to even a local rub and tug Asian massage parlor, it's all on tape. It's all on tape.
It is. Yeah, and this isn't
and it's
just
not for security, it's for blackmail.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and it's not, what we're talking about is not just a theory. As a matter of fact, I know several of them, but I know one of them. And if you've read Playboy for the last 20 years, if I told you who this was, you would know who it is. Anyway, I talk to her quite frequently on instant messages, and she told me this firsthand. She goes, "Yeah, that's exactly how it works." So yeah, we know that this happens.
Wow. Well, I'll be digging more into that here in a little bit. Let's get into some of the signs and symbols.
Okay.
I know off air, Scooter was talking about, happy holidays. Yeah, I'm not going to have much of a Merry Christmas this year going down these rabbit holes, but.
Yeah, my question to Joe is the best way, because we have loyal fans, and God bless all of you, and happy holidays and Festivus and all of that. No degradation to you, and not repeating things that you don't know. But we talk about all these symbols right there in our face, right there in plain sight. Christmas being, even though they're claiming social distance, yada, 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 simple Illuminati symbols symbols that might be, for example, Catholic or Jewish or non-denominational, when in fact, they are Illuminati symbols, and how they are incorporated in our lives. And that's where I wanted Joe to take us.
Yeah. They all have occultic references. Like the Christmas tree is another symbol of the pyramid with the star on top. And the star is always, from an occult point of view, associated with Luciferian teachings. That's why you have everybody's a star. They call the people in Hollywood that are A-list actors stars. You've got the star on top. It's all related to the occult and occult practices. Well, one thing we were talking about earlier is occult numbers. And if you're wondering why they have the number of 11 involved in everything, it seems like 11 or multiples of 11, especially 33. They use that a lot. If you go back to the Bible, it talks about the Antichrist being the 11th horn. So that's where that comes from. So anytime they use the number 11, it has to do with the Antichrist, them ushering in the Antichrist. That's when you have the number 11 all over the events of September 11th, when they ran the planes into the World Trade Center. That was an occult ritual that had to do with the number 11. The reason why they have those numbers surrounding it is because they believe, and it's as far as hypnosis says to us, it's true, the more occultic numbers they have involved in the event, the less likely people are to figure it out, because it's almost like blinding the people when they use these occultic numbers. 33, 11, multiples of 11, so you'll see that a lot. John Kennedy was killed on 11/22. That's not an accident. They did that intentionally. So you'll see these numbers a lot. Anytime they put the number 11 in with a catastrophic event, it's to usher in the Antichrist and the one world government. And that's where they head with these numbers. And once again, they put it in your face. They're not even trying to hide it.
Does Santa represent the image that we know as Santa, the red and the white and the hat and the beard and the glasses and the reindeer and the sleigh and the elves and the presents? Is Santa an illuministic symbol, or is Santa a not menage?
Was it a manipulated?
A composite? Is it several or none?
I think you're right. I think it's a lot of them kind of combined in one. Santa is an anagram for Satan. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is. They don't want you to think about anything that has to do with Jesus. We're going to call him, his name wasn't really Jesus, it's Yeshua. People that have studied this know what I'm talking about when I say that. So anything that has to do with the real Savior, they want to take that out and put in some kind of occultic figure to take the place of it. And that's where Santa comes in, Satan.
But didn't they take that from like Père Noël and all the other countries that have something similar? But
yeah. But keep in mind, the whole world is under this delusion, though. Remember, the Bible talks about Satan deceiving the whole world. So the whole world is under a satanic sway, because it says he's the prince of the power of the air. What does that mean? Well, everything comes through the air. We're talking about radio waves, TV signals. Every signals come through the air. Satan's got an influence on all that. So
Wi-Fi.
He's deceiving the nations. Right, exactly.
Backlash, how much time do we have left?
We've got about 2 minutes, and then
Okay.
we have a small nervous breakdown.
Okay, so the 12 days of Christmas. Backlash, Google, use your favorite search engine of choice and Google, for lack of a better word, 12 days of Christmas, Illuminati. Because I believe day 1, day 2, day 3, they all represent something.
Yeah.
I forget. I know 20 years ago we did a show on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can almost be a show in and of itself, talking about that. But yeah, you are right. But in addition to Santa, we talk about the same thing with Easter. Easter is a name of Ashtar. It got a lot of play because Ashtar is an occultic figure, and they came in with the bunny because bunnies reproduce as fast as anything that we know of. So it's a fertility goddess called Ashtar. So you understand where these things come from and where their roots are and where they're going. Things start to make sense to you if you really understand signs and symbols, because that's how they get it right in front of your face without you seeing it.
Okay.
All right. So without going long, guys, can we do an episode right before Christmas? Can we give them a Christmas episode?
Yeah, we can go back into this because it's
Yeah.
like,
So why don't we do that? Let's just
Okay.
leave it where we just were. Backlash Park, the 12 days. Is it 12 Days of Christmas 5? Calling Birds 3, French Hens 2.
well, it's talking about, it's got its roots with the Roman festival known as Saturnalia, which is in honor of the deity Saturn. It was a time of feasting and gift giving.
All right. So just park it. We can talk off air but we'll in theory do a Christmas episode of some
Oh
kind. But
God! Now I'll never be able to sing that song again. Oh, you guys!
I know.
You're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. Okay, we'll leave it on that, and then we'll come back and get into the Illuminati 12 Days of Christmas, and we'll be back with another episode of the Conspiracy Keepers. Yeah, I really have got nothing else to say right now. I'm
Merry
off
Christmas,
this,
everybody.
I'm gonna record it, and I'm
5 gold rings.
gonna get into a fetal position for the rest of the weekend. So we will talk to you gentlemen soon, and thank you for listening to the Conspiracy Keepers. And once
Merry
again,
Christmas, Mr. Connell.
the website, Joe?
Okay, it is conspiracykeepers.com. And if you want articles to talk about what we have talked about and what we are talking about, it's theconspiracyzone.net.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. We will talk to you at the next segment.
So,
Excellent.
see you.
Okay.
Peace.